kind of weird. There you go. That's not natural.
You never done nothing like this before?
No, never. Nothing
First
like
time,
this.
huh?
Yeah. Well, I've done a couple of radio shows. But
Have you? Have you done like...
Let's Talk Hookup
Okay.
and Fish Talk Radio.
And you grew up around here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whereabouts?
Long Beach area.
Long Beach, okay. So
Yeah.
you grew up with like C's and all those dudes?
I met C's later on down the road, like the last handful of years. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, no, he's cool people. And Stembridge, I think he came on and
Yeah,
talked about
dude,
it.
he's
Yeah, I was
cool.
one of his students.
Oh, were you too?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh, so you're not that old yet.
No. So when he was launching Pearl, that was when I was one of his students.
No way.
Yeah.
You were fishing them then?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's fucking
I saw
cool,
some
man.
of the original.
Yeah. So you've been in performance forever then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like Robert that runs the Fortune, he
Yeah.
used to work at Performance when it was across the
Oh,
street,
really?
and with Tommy. I've known Tommy
Yeah.
since high school days.
No way.
Yeah.
And see, I thought you were just a saltwater dude.
I've fished a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I grew up freshwater fishing.
Okay. So yeah, I always had the impression because I knew who you were before. I mean, just from Instagram.
Yeah.
You look a fucking asshole. And then I met you. I'm like, wow, this guy's like a teddy bear, dude.
No, a lot of people say that. And by the end of it, some people do think I'm an asshole, so I guess it's all right.
But yeah, so and then you do the G. How long have you been doing the whole flying fish thing for now?
So I got brought in on that last year.
Really?
Partner G Paul.
Okay.
He fishes squid. Like everybody kind of knows him for squid.
Okay.
And I got away from sport fishing and came home from Alaska last year. I quit my job. Long story. There's kind of a segue into the whole thing. Quit my job running Native Sun last year. In
Oh,
June.
you used to be Captain Native Son.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when they bought the boat and brought it over to 22nd Street, I was running the Monte Carlo Twilight and doing some daytime stuff.
Yeah.
And just kind of got fed to the wolves, and they brought the boat over and was like, "Hey, you want to run this thing? And you want to go 3/4 day?" And at first I was gun shy about it, you know. Fishing had been tough, and I got into it like right on the cusp of things when it was starting to get good.
Yeah.
Like the water warmed up, we started doing some crazy stuff. That same summer, I'd caught the yellowfin tuna half-day fishing, which was the first time up here for a long
That's
time.
a big deal, right?
We just went on a whim, and it worked out, and it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So once I got that taste of things, actually running a boat and doing that, I was like, yeah, I want to go do this.
Yeah.
And
So you just got your license, or you had it for a minute already?
I'd had my license. I'd been running Twilight, so
Okay, just Twilight.
I was the whipping boy. You know, the fishing would be good in the morning half days, and afternoon the wind would start blowing, and the water was still cold. We weren't catching much, and I'd go run an afternoon half day, and then Twilight was my thing for a couple of years. So the first time I ever ran a boat was in the dark with people. So that
by
was
yourself?
That by myself. Yeah,
Scary.
It was like you get sent out, fed to the wolves. Here you go, trial by fire. Go do it.
Damn,
so
dude.
you learn to use your electronics a little better and pay attention. It's not like daytime, you know. It was a grind.
Yeah.
So did that. Ran the Native Sun. The best 4 years of sport fishing I think we've had around here in a long time.
No way.
One thing led to another. Just started getting burned out on the whole thing, and just felt like I was kind of spinning my wheels. So quit. Went to Alaska. Did a season gill netting salmon in Bristol Bay. You ever seen that Alaska Fish Wars TV show?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
No way.
They kind of dramatize on some of it, but
Gets crazy.
it gets crazy up there. That was cool. Good friend of mine, Jake Wilson, he's done it for years. It's kind of always been a summertime gig, and it was the first year he got a boat and a permit. So
Okay.
one thing led to another. You know, made a phone call one day. Hey, you still need a guy? He's like, yep. 4 days later, I was flying to Naknek, Alaska.
Dude.
Yeah.
And that was
4 days notice.
But how long ago was this?
That was last June. So I got back August,
And you were up there for
7 weeks.
damn.
Yeah,
That's
just
crazy.
dropped everything and went for 7 weeks. My girlfriend thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy.
Oh, I bet, dude.
And at the time, it was one of those things. That's what I needed to do. So
Yeah.
I went and did it.
Yeah.
I got the experience that I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to go to Alaska.
Yeah.
So
And it was kind of a paid trip.
it was.
Yeah, I mean-
you know, we didn't make a bunch of money like everybody thinks, but we made enough to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Luckily, the group.
You got the experience too, right?
I got the whole Alaska experience
Yeah.
because the people that I went up with, you know, a lot of these guys, they go up and they're just stuck on the boat for 2 months. They don't get to go explore anything. So the group that I was with, my buddy Jake, he has a cousin in town. He knows all the locals. It's his 10th year up there. So I got the inside track. We were taking jet boats up on the rivers at midnight fishing trout.
Dude, how awesome was that?
Crazy. You know,
You see bears and shit?
Oh, all the time.
Scary?
Like, dude, I grew up in Long Beach, right? And I've seen some pretty rough neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, or what you're from.
The bear's a different
You get
story.
a grizzly bear, you get a single bear. I don't care how many people you got behind you.
Yeah.
It's you and the bear. Like,
Yeah.
You get woken up in the middle of the night, the bear's going through the trash, and you're walking around, during the day, and there's footprints that are, bigger than both my hands and my feet combined. And
dude,
the guys are up there, they're, taking bears out. If there was a problematic bear, you'd see it.
Do you carry a gun when you go fishing?
We didn't. The couple of the kids did that were up there that are natives. We were well protected. Let's put it that way. They didn't get us in any super sketchy situations.
So you felt like at home because you still had your head on a swivel up there, right?
Exactly. No, I mean down here, if you're fishing at night in Long Beach, when I used to fish like the Jake, people pop up out of the rocks.
Dude, you're like, what the fuck? You had your head on the swivel, so it's like the same.
You're interrupting people that are trying to sleep and do their thing, and
everything.
They're the same thing with the bears, I guess. But at least you can communicate with these guys a little bit. So we did Alaska. Came back, and it was kind of what's next. I don't know what I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
So G. Paul mentioned to me, he's like, "Hey, you want to come start fishing tuna?" And so we started commercial fishing bluefin because that's what everybody's doing nowadays.
I don't know any backstory. Did you guys have the program already of fly fish?
We did not.
So you guys came up together.
So he was already doing it by himself. So squid fishing, this guy fishes a lot by himself as it is. And it's a lot for one guy.
Yeah. So
then add the flying fish thing into it. He was going and catching. He told me, he's like, I'm catching like 100, 150 a trip by myself.
Fuck.
And it was good money at the time, He's like, I'm just kind of getting into this.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. I was going to be his deckhand squid fishing and kind of run the boat a little bit. So we started going, and we'd come in and we'd bring a load in, and, we didn't know what we were doing. We were saran wrapping them and, doing different stuff, and really hadn't come up with a name. He kind of had. And
was there like a way to do it? Like, is there another company that does it maybe?
No.
So
at this point in time, we're kind of like, all right, so in the 60s, they used to do it. They used to be able to gill net them, which would be awesome because I'm a fan of gill netting. I mean, there's some bycatch, and I saw how they did it in Alaska. There's very little bycatch. And, they used to be able to catch them, like, the price the old timers talk about. They're like, oh, we used to catch them and sell them for $1 a piece. Guys will tell us, you guys should be wearing masks and be bandits and this and that for the price you're getting. But it's a whole different fishery. We're literally taking a butterfly net now and scooping them out of the water. Yeah. It's not lay out a gill net and come back and, there's 1,000 pounds of them.
So you're fishing for the fish.
We're fishing. They stand a good chance, getting away from us, and the sea lions get theirs. And we're not taking everything that we see. Yeah. So we came back and he's, 100, 150 a night. I'm like, sweet, let's do this. And he was paying me good money to do it. Yeah. One thing led to another, and we fished our squid season, and it's kind of a tougher season with the warm water. We made a go of it. We started talking at the end, and it was like, hey, I want to bring you in on this. Let's be partners on this. Let's solidify this thing, make it a brand.
So is it, you do squid too?
We do squid as well.
So G-Fly, the whole thing is a squid and the flying fish.
That's the G-Fly thing is a separate deal. Okay. So it's a whole separate entity. It's a fish business. We went to Fish and Game. We got our permits. We got all of our ducks in a row. We made sure we're legitimate, which to our knowledge right now, we may be one of the only legitimate companies doing it. There's a lot of fly-by-night guys that have popped up now. They've kind of...
I've only seen one other one, and it's San Diego way.
And that's somebody we know, and that's a whole nother subject right now. I mean, he actually came to G-Paul and was like, hey, you guys might want to do this, because the guy that's doing it was fishing tuna and was doing very well. And that's kind of the backstory of why he started fishing flying fish as well, because he's like, hey, the market just got saturated. I can't make money tuna fishing right now. I'm going to start selling flying fish. Yeah. Which we knew it was coming. We knew there was going to be somebody else, probably better him than a lot of these other guys that are all over the place. But, it was weird timing. It was the end of the season, which we're calling the end of the season. Like, we were at our peak doing real well. And things slowed down a little bit. But I think we got far enough ahead earlier in the season. Because we did, like, PCS. We did Fred Hall Show. We were the idiots standing in the aisle, kind of in left field, and people were looking at us crazy as it's March, and we were trying to sell them a $20, $30 bait, and they're like, yeah, right. Well, little they know, a couple months later, they're going to be calling us like we're drug dealers and begging for them. So
can you keep those frozen for a minute?
We freeze them.
How long can you keep them frozen for?
The way we're vacuum sealing them, we have fish from last year, still a little bit, that will thaw out every once in a while, and they look almost as good as they did when we caught them.
So it might be almost worth it when you go to these shows to buy them, to backstock, in a freezer.
And the guys that know, and the guys that didn't, we went to PCS, we had a really good response from it.
And you probably had a better deal.
and we had a better deal at the time. And there's still guys that walk up and make old jokes or, remarks like anything else. I'll go catch my own. We'll go do it. You can go catch your own squid too. I mean, you can go catch your own sardine you really want to do. But, when it's there and you need it, if you got 24 hours to go fishing and you leave the dock and you don't have bait and now you have to spend your whole night trying to catch bait.
Yeah.
And guess what? The sea lines are bad. It's windy.
Yeah.
It's rough. You don't find a flying fish. You see him and you can't catch him.
Yeah.
And you spent all night being frustrated to go fishing the next day, not have a bait and watch everybody around you catch them. Makes a lot more sense just to buy them before you go, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. It's like
there's no certainty.
Anything. It's like buying the proper gear.
It is
in the first spot, like to start off with. And I said it before, like I bought so much fucked up gear when I first started fishing.
It's true. How many times you go fishing?
I had a secret credit card my wife found, and I was buying like old like Shakespeare rods. I bought like 5 and old Strike Force to Daiwa when I first started.
Yeah.
And then I remember my wife went to close out the credit card. She's like, "There's fucking $3,000 on here." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know."
That's a lot of Shakespeare products,
dude. It was everything you can think of, and she's like, "Are you?" I'm like, "Look back. There's not anything bad. There's no like strip clubs or anything. It's just fishing shit, But if I would have known in the beginning, I would have had the same gear now that I had a long time ago. And it's like, if you just get the good shit now,
you don't got to go back
you
and
do it again. And it's like
it's a learning curve.
And the time, and when you get older, the time is like valuable, so fucking valuable.
It is. No,
right?
It's true.
So like that was cool, but. So you guys have been doing pretty well. I mean, I've seen...
We did all right.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, oh, you guys are making all this money. Well, there's a lot of overhead in it. So we had a weird thing go on this season where we had to lease a boat. So then that added more cost to it. And we bumped the price up a little bit. It wasn't much.
Hey, did you have to lease it because you needed more?
We needed another boat because the boat we were doing it on, we had to go squid fishing, or he had to go squid fishing.
Okay. So you leased another...
we were dead in the water for a week. We didn't have a boat. We didn't tell anybody this. We figured it out. We had enough back stock, and we had 7 tackle shops at the time, and so we didn't want to put anybody in panic, and put blood in the water so somebody could come up swell us.
No, of course.
So we ended up leasing another boat and doing it.
Okay,
and it worked out. And it worked out beautifully because then we could put 100% effort in trying to go and catch these things.
Yeah.
And we ended up paying 2 other kids to go with us.
Nice.
And we did well. The kids made a bunch of money doing it.
Yeah.
And everything worked out here at the end of the
summer. So this
is
your livelihood now, is the...
It's just another piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
So I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Are you still doing any captain stuff, other stuff?
I'm going to run the Tradition tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to go, that's another boat that I ran when I was a kid, or didn't run when I was a kid. I was a deckhand as a kid on there. So it's kind of cool that it's going full circle.
Full circle is awesome.
One of the first boats I ever worked on, I get to go run it tomorrow.
So you just do random, you'll do random fill-ins?
I go fill-ins still.
Okay.
I did some Twilight on the Monte Carlo earlier in the season and just kind of bounced around. I haven't committed to a boat again since then, and I'm trying to kind of get away from it, and it keeps sucking me back in. So,
are you trying to get away from... Is this like what you want to do now? Or are you thinking, man, maybe I want to do something else?
It's what I know. So it's hard to get away from things that you know.
Yeah.
I know fishing. That's up since I was 14 years old. I've worked on boats. That,
oh, really? Damn.
My high school, my whole work career was laid out that I'm going to be a fisherman and I'm going to run a boat. And now it's, okay, I did that. Now what? I didn't go to college. I've always worked for what I've had to do. And here it is. I'm 31 years old now, and I quit my job when I turned 30, and I'm like,
that was your job was a captain.
That was my life.
Okay.
That was me. That was my baby. That was my go to sleep, wake up, and take the work home with you, be frustrated all the time. It took a toll on me. I got gray hairs that came from the boat. I guarantee it. A lot of guys do. And there's it's fun. It's seasonal. It's you can make good money if you're smart, but a lot of us that work on boats aren't smart with our money.
You got to save it all then. So when it's wintertime.
And that's not the lifestyle that we live.
I don't live that lifestyle.
Fishing in general is expensive. So most of the guys that work on a boat are so sick in the head that we fish on our days off.
Yeah.
We do that. It's a big group of us, and there's a lot of drinking involved. And,
I agree.
There's been some wild times. But, it's now it's like, okay, what do I do now?
So this is your next adventure that you're kind of like going, maybe this could be something that I like to do.
It's a niche. I like commercial. I like fishing. So commercial fishing, the fact that I can go out and work as hard as I want to and make as much money as I want to at times, when it's there, you got to go. I got in yesterday at noon. So day before yesterday, how our flying fish trip went is we showed up at the boat at noon. We got out of there, drove to the island, got there at dark, drove around all night long until the sun came up.
It's a nighttime.
It's a nighttime thing,
Okay.
so it's sketchy. So the stuff that we're doing at night in the boat is,
Yeah, that's
you get
crazy.
real comfortable with your electronics real fast. And
Yeah.
to kind of tell people that are in the know, like what we're seeing, like we're seeing Garibaldis in the dark. So, if during the day you're seeing Garibaldis, you're shallow.
Yeah.
There's nights we're seeing Garibaldis in the dark. That's how close we're getting.
That's scary, huh?
That's some nights you have to, you
Yeah.
know? So, and you see all kinds of crazy stuff at night in the dark. Like last night or night before last night, we saw fish at Catalina. We're like, what is that? Like, I don't know what that is. I've spent a lot of time at Catalina seeing stuff in the water. And I don't know if it was
something weird looking. I
don't know if it was a short sea bass. It looked like a corvina to me. It had like a bright orange tail.
Yeah.
Like it was some sort of like a croaker type of fish, and it was underneath the light. It was like, I don't know.
Oh, you have a light out too. When
Yeah,
you're
we
doing
got
this.
so squid fishing. We have a lot of lights.
Okay.
And a lot of people ask, well, how do you catch flying fish? Well, it starts with a 30 kilowatt generator and 10,000 watts of lights to really do it right.
Yeah.
Guys, you see them at night with their spotlights and.
Do you mind talking about how you do it? I know it's your business, so I don't want
Oh yeah, I know. I'll.
It's just interesting to me. It's like, how do you fucking catch these things?
So
I see them flying. I would think I'm fucking shooting a fucking net at them or
yeah,
something.
it's no secret. It's just how bad do you want to go out and do it? And it sucks. It's one of those things. Somebody told me before, you want to be successful with some, try to find something that nobody wants to do and be good at it. So
this is it.
That's what we're trying to do. If you want to really go out and try to do this, more power to you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of footwork involved, and it's a niche market.
Yeah,
so,
I bet.
as soon as a handful of people do it, it's probably going to phase out, and we don't know if the tuna are going to be around next year.
Yeah, that's true.
We haven't had it the last, up until 5 years ago, you started seeing that stuff.
And the cool thing too is you deal with everyone.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Like as far as business goes, I'm in the mix of a lot of things.
Which is crazy because I deal with everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have no person that I'm like, fuck this guy or,
I'm neutral for the most part. I hear it. I hear both sides of it. And
yeah.
I have my own opinion on things.
Yeah.
That I kind of keep to myself for the most part.
But
sometimes you catch yourself feeding into some of the stuff.
It's easy to do.
It's very easy, especially on the internet. And especially when you start seeing stuff and you're like, it's kind of funny. And then you really sit back and think about it and you're like, it's kind of fucked up at the same time, No,
I agree. There's some fucked up.
And there's people that claim they're victims. And if you see some of the stuff they post, they're not as big of a victim as they're portraying themselves to be. Like they're taking cheap shots at each other. Everybody's feeding into it. It's fishing.
I talked on another podcast and we talked about the anti-fishing club. I'm like, I think it's comedy.
I can't figure out who's behind it, and they have my number. I don't know who it is. So myself, Mitch, there's a handful of people, and it's somebody close to us, and we've kind of got an idea who it is.
But it's great because you don't know.
It's a group of people. It's not a single person.
Yeah.
So,
and I love we talked about the Billy thing. I don't know if this is ever going to get put out. In my mind, that was funny. That made me fucking laugh. Like if you put a picture of me on someone's dick, I would repost it because it fucking make me laugh.
Would
that make you? Well, look,
I'm on a swimsuit that a man was wearing.
Does that bug you?
Not really. I think it's funny.
It's all in good fun. I don't think they did anything tasteless where it's like racist or it's something like it's usually like.
I don't think so either.
Ball busting. That's all.
It's ball busting, and there's one person in particular that really is good at roasting people, and he's the one wearing the mankini, so it makes fun. It makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a character. If you got him to talk, and you never get a word in. I love Cameron to death. I've known him for a lot of years.
Yeah, that's
just Cameron. Like he's come up with some funny stuff over the years. He spends a lot of time driving boats by himself and squid fishing,
and it's all in fun, dude.
It is,
right? I mean,
he has a vendetta out for a couple different people, and it's not so much the person, it's the idea that he's against. It could be anybody. It doesn't just have to be Billy Kay. It could be you or I doing the same thing. And guess what? Now we're like, it's just the principle behind it, which to some I get. It is what it is. It's a weird subject. It
is, and I talked about it.
Especially since I talked to all these guys. I talked to Billy and I talked to Cameron, and I don't feed into a lot of stuff that.
And dudes are cool, and the dudes are so cool when you talk to them, right?
It's just fishing.
Yeah.
Like I've lived it.
Yeah.
I see it, and a lot of these guys are like, "Well, this guy's really digging into me." Well, you're probably doing something right that people are hating on.
Yes.
And, you know, he had his tires slashed. I messaged him the other day. I'm like, dude, I had my wheels stolen off my truck
No way.
at the landing.
Why?
No idea. We kind of, there's
Was it when you were
speculation.
captain?
Yeah.
So you fucking
There's speculation. And
you
there's
blew up
people,
someone's spot or something
there's
like
people in this industry that it's their livelihood. You don't come and, you know, try to take away something. Like there's still a lot of old school guys in this.
that. I can get coming into a different neighborhood. I get that. I get if I'm
No, for sure.
If I'm a Dana Point to, you know, Long Beach guy, that's
There's a
my
lot
shit.
of that, especially in commercial fishing.
If I came from San Diego up here and I kind of didn't go, yo, bro, I'm going to come fish. I could get that.
There's a way to go about things.
Yeah.
There's a level of respect where you talk to people and you let them know. And, you know, it's, like I said, it's a weird, you got to kind of walk the line on it.
That's crazy to get your fucking wheels stolen off your truck, dude.
While I was running the boat. So it's a Saturday morning. I got 83 people on the boat.
When was this?
When I first started running the Native Son.
Did you think you just got your balls busted like someone was being a real fucking cock?
Maybe it could have been random too, but there's a handful of other people that have had their vehicles messed with.
Same thing.
Same kind of deal.
Wow.
And one of them was recently where the truck got torched during the day, broad daylight.
Well, I heard about that. I don't know any of the...
He also runs the Native Son now.
Is it Jeff?
Maybe it's a vendetta. Yeah, maybe it's a vendetta for
the Native Son,
the boat, or you know, there's been other
curse,
things.
Dude.
It's, you know, I'm glad I'm not there doing it. You know, and it is what it is. I could see going back and running a boat. You know, but it's gonna have to be mine. I'm not gonna go work for somebody and you know.
Yeah.
It was so much effort with so little return that it's like one day you're just like, what am I doing?
But it's like, how do you make a livelihood? Like, if you have an idea,
You have to own the boat,
or even with anything, it's like you have a bait company that someone's going to shit on. You have a fucking say what you're doing. Some sooner or later, someone's going to go, this guy's fucking overcharging me, a cunt, you know, whatever. How do you make money, dude? Like, what do you expect people to do? Like, they're trying to make money. They're doing a business. It's like, you know, like sooner or later, like, yeah, I need fucking ads, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like it's fucking cool to get ads from dudes like I you know, that support.
and you don't say no to money. Their money's just as green as the other guys.
So it's like,
you know,
and you make your choices. I mean, what I do is maybe a little different than what you do, but what tackle shops are you in actually?
So we started off with Island Tackle. Sam was behind us since day one.
Okay.
From Island, we kind of went to Performance, you know, and I might kind of get the series of things messed up a little bit, but currently right now our main guys, the guys that have been with us since the beginning of all this, has been Island Tackle in Carson, Performance Tackle. Mark down there is a huge supporter of ours.
Yeah.
Hills Boat Service, which is the fuel dock in Newport right next to Davies Launch Ramp.
Yeah.
Or Davies Locker. They really got behind us on it.
Oh, that's cool, man.
That was kind of their way in with a lot of the yachts because a lot of guys fuel, and you know that was kind of a power play there
for you too, right?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, both of you guys.
Hogan's Tackle in Dana Point. Okay. Breck and his wife they're really been behind us. They've been huge supporters, and then Dana Landing wanted it cornered in San Diego, so Dana Landing got our baits, and they pretty much told us whatever you catch, we'll take.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Like there was an open line for all summer long. We got them down there. We told a lot of people no this summer just because there's not an infinite amount of these fish. Once it got busy and yachts were trying to catch their own, and some of these bootleg commercial guys started running around, and it's like fishing a kelp patty. You get one good pass at it, and then it's done.
Have you ran into other boats doing what you're doing at the same time?
No, we've it's been kind of comical. You'll see the guys in their yachts with their little lights out and a spotlight, and
oh god,
here I come with a bunch of lights on and 10 sea lines behind us.
Fucking ants on me.
You really?
Dude, no fucking joke. My wife just rinsed the whole fucking shit out. I think when I was taking the trash out, I must have fucking, I'm like getting bit. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I thought I was doing meth. We were fucking doing broken windows right now.
It's funny.
My bad for cutting you off.
No,
I'm going to grab another beer too. I'm sorry. I'm an alcoholic.
Go for it. You're good. So Dana Landing was one of our bigger clients this summer. It was kind of the right place to put them with all the yachts and skiffs and Parkers and the whole charter boat fleet out of there, and it was centralized for everybody. So we got him into Dana Landing, and it became us taking him down there once a week, and a lot of the shops. And so there's two of us. There's two of us.
Okay.
So when it came down to my partner squid fishing, I would go for 2-3 days, get in. Hadn't really slept very much except for during the day when it's hot and there's kelp flies flying around and you don't sleep very well and you're on somebody else's boat and it's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
And then you'd fish all night, drive in the morning, and we process everything on the boat. So, you know,
you had a vacuum sealer, everything.
everything.
Wow.
Scale, the whole nine.
The stickers,
everything logged,
everything?
the stickers, everything. Making bags. We do 100% everything
That's
ourselves.
awesome, dude.
The only thing we don't do is printing labels. Everything
Yeah.
else, we make our own bags. We seal them. We
No
do
way.
start to finish. It's us. So everything.
And there's a certain way to store them, right?
Yeah, you know, and
You
you
can't
don't
just
want to beat
fucking
them
put
up.
them in there
It's
and-
the
yeah.
whole process. It's a process. It's very, very time consuming,
Yeah.
tedious. Like, you know, it's not like we're just catching these things and throwing them on the boat and we're grabbing the ones that run into the side. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, a few might have gotten by or the wings might be a little messed up or
Yeah.
shredded. A lot of times we catch them dirty like that as the sea line's been chasing them around.
Yeah.
So it's you know, there's quality control in it. There's quite a bit of that.
That's cool.
You know, and especially my partner, he really takes pride in that sort of thing, and it's rubbed off on me. And it's hard to grab a fish that, you know, is worth anywhere from $10 to $15 to us sometimes and take it and throw it over the side.
Right?
But we do. You know, somebody could probably make a living following us around at some point in time just to catch their own baits, but that's not going to happen because the sea lions are going to get them before you get to them.
Oh, man.
So it got to the point where a lot of shops that laughed at us early in the season, not a lot, but there was a couple guys that made some remarks and guys that kind of scoffed at the price. And, you know, now they're promoting other flying fish from other parts of the world. And I won't mention any names.
I
but
heard that there's a difference from back east to here.
yeah, they're like 4 to 6 inch ones, and everything we're catching is like 10 to
That's what I heard.
16 inches.
And that's what they want to eat, right?
They want the big ones.
Do you do like stuff with dudes like captains, like say like a Billy or an Evan or Dwayne will be like, hey, can they come straight to you, or do you just say, hey, go buy them at the fucking
We didn't
store?
do a lot of direct sales
Okay.
just because that's a whole different tax deal and doing sales tax and stuff. Most of what we were doing was wholesale.
Okay.
We did sell a little bit at the beginning to some of the guys that were wanting to buy like 50 or 100 at
Yeah.
a time. We did take care of some of the guys on that, but for the most part, until we get our online store, which I haven't told anybody we're going to do.
Is that what you're doing next?
We're in the works right now. So eventually you're going to be able to go online, a few mouse clicks, and we'll ship them out to you.
Do you
On top of having them in the stores, we're not going to burn the guys. That's just going to be another option because there are guys that come from. I've had guys, you know, call me from Sacramento and everywhere else, and
No
you know,
way.
guys are from out of state and they want to buy them. They want to go on a long range trip, and they got their trip planned out 2 months ahead of time. And I want to take baits because last year we did it, and you know,
Do you,
we're selling directly to some of the boats, and like I
That's
said,
nice.
100% of what we're doing right now is legitimate. Everything's on paper and accounted for, and you know, there's a way to go about things. It's like, again, everybody thinks we're making a bunch of money, and you know, this is a business learning experience for me.
You're trying to make something right now.
We are,
Yeah.
and we're doing it, and you know, we made enough money doing it this year to where I can comfortably say I didn't have to go sport fishing. You know, it was like, it might not have been as much money, but the way I'm living right now, I think is a little more within my means, and I'm not going to the bar every night.
You're just instead you're buying an 18 pack of Coors and taking it home.
I'm not trying to forget the day and, you know, kind of go home and de-stress from dealing with sea lions and passengers and everything else. So it's been
Has it get crazy with passengers? So that's one thing. I've only had a couple. I've had Alec Robbie from the Player Supreme.
Oh yeah.
He was on, and then 4-pack guys.
Yeah.
I haven't really had any, you know.
So we should go into the sport fishing side of things for a
Oh,
little while.
I'd love to, because I want to hear some of the story. I'm sure there's some fucked up stories.
just
and-
chaos. Like, so you got to remember the last 4 years, 5 years now. So it's 19. So we started this like the end of 13 into 14. We
Yeah.
started getting signs in like 13 that something might happen. And, you know, for the last 10 years, everybody's been claiming, oh, it's going to be an El Nino. It's going to be an El Nino.
Yeah.
Well, it's eventually when you're doing this, you just kind of switch that term off and you don't ever want to hear it again because
it fucks you, right?
I got to fish. I started fishing on sport boats. It was in the late 90s during that El Nino. Like I caught my first yellowtail on the Mission Bell and Booger that has a San Diego used to run that boat.
Wow.
Like that was, he hook and handed my first yellowtail. I don't think he knows that, but like talk about something to think back on now.
Yeah, it's
Especially,
a long time ago.
I still fish the Mission Bell with Steve and Karen, and you know, it's been a couple of years actually now because life gets away from you. But fishing back then, yeah, you got to see it. So, and then you always hear El Nino, and you remember that fishing and all that yellowtail and everything else. And that turned into, you know, just kind of like, it's almost a letdown every summer. You're like, oh, it's supposed to be El Nino. And then here it is August and we're fishing rockfish locally. And it's like, this is an El Nino. But again, they brought the native sun over from Long Beach sport fishing. they presented me an opportunity. Hey, go run this thing. You know, it had no following, had no business. I was running 7 o'clock 3/4 day. So most of the 3/4 day operations on the coast are 4 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I was running as a second 3/4 day boat at the landing. So the Pursuit has a huge following. Like that boat's sold out. You know, people might bitch and complain, there's always a lot of people on the boat.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I give it to them. They have a hell of an operation. And
Yeah.
a lot of the other 3/4 day guys, it's hard to compete with somebody that's a little closer to the island, leaves at 6. He's a very militant program.
Yeah.
And, you know, love him or hate him, the guy fishes hard and he's good.
Yeah.
You know, not knocking any of the other guys. The other guys are good. This guy's just got a different fire in him. And, you know, he's real particular about who fishes around him. And it's another weird dynamic. So,
and you have
went
the
up
same,
against-
and it's the same,
same landing.
but you guys have the same kind of like, you got your own little set of dudes you talk to that you fish
Exactly.
with. Okay.
So he's been doing it
The
forever.
code group, right? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, and this guy likes to fish by himself. Like he doesn't like fishing with other boats. Like that's kind of his forte, is being the guy that fishes alone. Like he doesn't like to see other boats, which works out in his benefit because he doesn't fish with the fleet.
Mm-hmm.
At least he tries not to. So I got put up against him, and that was a learning curve in itself. You know, I'm having to compete with that boat because we go out fishing and he catches 40, 50, 60 yellowtail and I'd catch 2. Guess who's not running the next day? It would be me. So
Would you not run?
I'd really not run.
You'd have nothing.
So like nowadays there's a lot of Groupon stuff and there's a lot of living social, all this stuff where these guys go to work every day and they have a job because they're selling these cheap seat discount tickets. It doesn't matter what's biting.
Yeah.
These guys could be catching mackerel or yellowfin tuna and they get out the same amount of people the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's...
You guys weren't doing that.
We weren't doing that.
Okay.
And so when things really got rolling, so 2015, I want to say it was, we started doing limited load stuff. So that fishing was really good, right? All the boats have 80, 90 people on them, sold out every day. We chopped the load in half. We went like $100 a head, 40 people, which isn't really limited load, but it's a 73-foot sport fishing boat. We could carry 90 people.
Yeah.
So with 40 guys, it was manageable.
Yeah.
So we started fishing that big yellowtail and that whole 150 bite. Like we were right there, right in the middle of all that, leaving at 7 o'clock, getting out there, you know, putting up with everything that was going on. A lot of politics and a lot of, you know, you're too close to me and skiffs, and guys went on Judge Judy for it. And that's a whole other.
What?
You'll hear about that later on.
Oh, I gotta hear Judge Judy. This is fucking
Judy
awesome.
for somebody casting a lure at a boat and supposedly breaking an outboard, and they took him to Judge Judy because the story. No, I'm not saying that I know the 100% story, but from what I heard, Coast Guard laughed at it, and there wasn't any to take to court, so they went on Judge Judy about fishing.
You could really do that?
Apparently, you can.
Fuck, dude.
So, you know, and the sad thing is I know both the guys, and I can't believe the guy that took him on Judge Judy did it, but, you know, I guess it really affected him. Oh, yeah, he won. They didn't even let the sport boat get a word in. Andy from the Enterprise was the one, and Donnie Ashley that owns Spear Point was on Judge Judy. And I'll never forget seeing that.
I'm sure you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like really? I'm just laughing, sending him text messages.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, it goes again about, you know, people not getting along and just the weirdness of fishing and the politics and drama.
And you got a lot of that too, I'm sure, when you were on the boat.
Oh yeah, I yelled at a lot of people. I didn't hold back, you know, and I'd tell people I'm out here every day. You get guys following you around. I get it. Nobody owns the ocean, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm on a boat that now has a tracking device on it, and you can sit at home and look on your phone and beat me to where I fished the day for, you better fucking believe I'm going to say something to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was all kinds of funny business going on.
How if a boat was out there, how far away were you cool with him being?
At a casting range, you know?
At a casting range, you're fine.
I mean, it got to the point on the 150 where, that went out the window. The 150 is not very big.
Yeah.
People call the 150 a million different things, and it's a 150-foot area, hard bottom, broken up, you know, bottom and kelp and bull kelp and that sort of stuff on the bottom. It got to the point where there was boats for a 2-mile stretch fishing.
Fuck.
You know, we had one day where Dave Marciano from Wicked Tuna was fishing. I think he was with Florentino. And him and his wife were drifting next to us, and there was boats stacked like cordwood to the point where you couldn't fish a jig. You're fishing a dropper loop with a sardine to catch a yellowtail because you can't cast because your line would get sucked up in somebody's prop. And it was biting. And it was just chaos, you know? So we lived through that fishing. And then, even when it was easy, when it was easy fishing, even then it wasn't easy. So you're going out and you're dealing with 40 to 80 different personalities every day. And, I've seen some crazy shit.
Fist fights on the boat?
I've had fist fights.
Really?
I was 19 years old on the Big Game 90 when I was running out of San Diego. I was a deckhand on there for a handful of years. And first day of a 6-day trip, these two guys at the rail,
dude, fuck.
tangled up. And they were both kind of ex-cons, had a rough history. And they both put their rod down at the rail, turned, looked at each other. It was like a duel, and they started swinging on each other. And I got in the middle of it. So the whole entire trip, whatever pictures we took, I got this halfway sideways smile because when I got in the middle of it, I got clocked in the face too, throwing these guys around. And they were like my size. They were like
big
grown
dudes. Yeah.
They were 45-year-old, 6'4", 6'5", like 250-pound dudes. Just on the first day of a 6-day, and those guys were stuck on the boat together.
Dude.
The entire trip.
Stupid.
You want to talk about some tension,
Yeah.
And it was, and they never had a flare up after that. Everybody was on edge because they saw what went on, and it is what it is. But stuff like that, people, I had a charter master one time demand that he went swimming in the water and at the island. He wanted to jump over the side.
Why?
He showed up on the boat. He was probably on a good one or something. It was just arrogant. The dude was arrogant.
Good one.
It was bad. Even the people on the boat were like, "What's this guy's deal?" And it was his people, it was his group that brought him. Yeah. So he demanded that he went swimming. No, sir, you can't do that. I
don't even know what a charter master's a dude that chartered the boat.
Actually, chartered the whole boat.
Okay.
So they spent probably $4,000 or $5,000 to the boat for the day just for their group.
Yeah.
So this guy's like, I want to go swimming. Oh no, you can't. You can't go swimming. Fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want. So all right, it's time to go home. Fire up the engines. All right, guys, time to go. And I hear some commotion in the stern, and this guy's
out there swimming.
He's jumped in the water over the side.
How the fuck you get him up?
Well, that's what I explained to him earlier on. It's like, we're not a dive boat. We don't have a swim step and a ladder that's accessible for somebody to jump in the water. Our insurance doesn't allow that, I'm sure. And no, you're not going swimming. Like I said, no, I'm running this boat. So he jumps in the water. Well, luckily the deckhand at the time too was a guy that worked out a lot. And, we opened up the gate, leaned over the side and got a life jacket on him. And dude was pretty inebriated. Like once he got in the water, he gassed out pretty quickly. And we had a life ring in the water with him and life jacket, and they got Baywatch standing by in case they got to pick this guy up and transfer him on the boat. And we leaned down and grabbed him and made sure we drug him across the deck for a few feet and got him on the boat.
What a dick.
We went home, just stuff like that. And at the time I'm like a 24-year-old kid, 25-year-old kid on this boat.
Shit.
And this is what I deal with. I'm dealing with grown men that want to come out and have a good time. And
I think that's easy for these dudes to do. They get all fucked up. And,
it's true.
Right.
And people have a perception of what's supposed to go on when they get on the boat. It's like, we joke about it all the time. Like guys will sit at home and watch YouTube videos of catching, calico bass at Palos Verdes on a 6-inch, 10-inch weedless bait. And then they come on the half-day trip expecting to go do that. And we're fishing sculpin. And they're looking at me like, why aren't we fishing calico bass? Because that's not what's biting.
Or even casting like that. You cannot fucking fish the same way.
It's different. It's a whole different ball.
Yeah.
Skiff fishing and sport boat fishing. That's, I still don't understand why the skiffs follow the big boats around. I get they get in an area, and a lot of people just don't know. But honestly, anytime lately in the last 4 years I've gotten to go skiff fishing, it is so much better fishing in a little boat than it is on a big boat.
Yeah.
Like I joke with some of my friends, it's really this easy. No wonder why you guys run skiff.
Do you have a boat too?
I do not now.
Really? Did you have one before?
I've had skiffs in the past. Really? Yeah, and I had skiffs I don't know, from 18 to 22, and then when hoop netting really got popular, and I just kind of got over it. We were doing it on the harbor before, Instagram. Some of my original Instagram posts.
You're eating lobsters out of the fucking harbor, bro.
I never ate them. I had a lot of friends that liked them. I'd give them away.
I want to go hooping this time. I have a 17-foot low. The 60 I take all the time. See, you got fucking ants. Look on top of the fucking right there. See it crawling? See that?
You're not tripping. There are ants in here,
dude. There's a fucking shitload of ants. I think because my wife sprayed down the side before you came. She wanted it to look nice for you.
That's all right. Well, thanks for that.
But I want to try to go.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't think I want to eat.
They move around. They travel. And what's crazy is
the harbor's fucking disgusting as shit. I'd rather go to Dana Point almost too.
Yeah. No, it's to each their own. I'm not a big. I personally don't eat a lot of fish, which is weird.
No, really.
I don't, and especially lobster. I got so spoiled with lobster earlier on. There was a handful of trips on another boat that we got a lot of lobster traded to us from the Pongas.
Okay.
we were not forced to eat it, but that's what we had pretty much
Did
for
you,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a few days in a row. And after that, never again. I'm good on it.
Oh, I'm sure that's like Bacardi. I drank too much.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. It's like Jameson now. I kind of look at sideways after the last.
Hey, I looked at it after Haggard Pirates. I'm like, I'm not drinking that shit out again.
Oh, I took a shot last night and I was like, nope, this isn't ever. My girlfriend's looking at me like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not drinking Jameson for a long time after this. And that's what I drink. Like, I'm just, no, it's not happening
too much,
right
huh?
now. It is. But
stick to Bud Light.
Exactly. And this is 17 years. Everybody laughs at me. Oh, you don't drink. That's not a beer. That's not a real beer.
Dude,
this is what beer was. This is what beer was before you guys all got all your craft beers. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like I like Ballast Point. I was drinking Ballast Point.
It's hard to drink though. Like I can't. If I drink another, my stomach will hurt.
That's it. I can only drink one or two of those. Or like when Ballast Point originally got going, there was a seafood restaurant in San Diego, and I worked down there. That was one of the few places that served it, and it was Blue Water Grill there on Sassafras in I think it's Little India Street. The guy that owned it used to cook on the boat, so that's where we all went for lunch all the time. They had a bunch of hot chicks as servers, and that's just where we hung out. And we'd take a keg home. He would sell us a keg, and this one Ballast Point wasn't even. It was tiny. I think they had Yellowtail, Sculpin, and Big Eye at the time.
Yeah.
You drink a pitcher or two of Big Eye, you'd be completely sideways back then. Like,
dude, right? If I drink a 6-pack of this, like...
No, for sure. I like drinking, like I'm used to drinking a lot of beers. It's...
Yeah.
I can drink a couple of those. I don't not like them. Yeah. When I drink...
I agree with you 100%.
And if you drink two of those, you can't go drink a Bud Light or a Coors Light or...
It tastes like shit.
It doesn't taste... Yeah. Exactly.
I had Moyer give me... We saw him during the Olive Crest. I was fishing with Jeff Leeson.
Okay.
And... Moyer's like, hey, here's a pack. It's like the hazy IPA. I didn't know it was the IPA. There's two different purple ones.
Yeah.
There's like a drinking one that's like 4%.
Yeah.
The one he gave me was still 7%er.
Like, I don't get...
So I came home and I drank. I'm like, I can drink that 6-pack, no problem. I got to number 6 and I'm like,
cross-eyed.
I'm pretty fucked up right now. I don't know what's wrong. And I looked at the can and I'm like, oh shit, these are 7%.
And it's a different buzz. It's not...
Dude, I was fucking trashed.
Exactly. That's one thing I learned about different IPAs, craft beers, is every one you drink, you get a different buzz and drunk.
And it's like, I love, like if I'm fishing, Bud Light, Coors Light.
Yeah.
Because I know I can be like, I'm getting a little buzz.
You can pace it.
I can pace
you
that.
You open one of those and you got to finish it.
Yeah.
And there goes your day.
Yeah.
There went a couple hours of your afternoon because now you're trying to snap back from it. Yeah. Like I've been on sport boats that only served Ballast Point.
Oh, no way.
Those were rough trips.
People getting fucking trashed, huh?
Yeah. I've got a couple of boys on there and we started drinking those. You don't, the night before on the way out, and you don't wake up until well after the sun comes up and the fish are.
No, I bet. Hungover as fuck.
Oh, yeah. I guess you got to drink responsibly though, too. So,
yeah. You got any other cool stories of the boat? I mean, I love hearing fucking boat stories because you got to deal with so many people. It's like
I tell a lot of people, it's like you get put on the spot like that. You've seen so many different crazy and like cool things. You can't describe a lot of it. You ever had
someone crash into your fucking boat, like get so close, like hit your boat?
I've come really close, and lately it's been this one sailboat that anchors up outside of Avalon and the rock quarry at Catalina, and the guy anchors up with no lights on, and I had
this is recently.
This is recent. It was like last week. Like 2 nights ago, I drove by the guy and yelled at him, put a fucking anchor light on or something. Because he's out, half a mile off the island, anchored up. And like out in it's like 60 foul. Like, what are you doing out here? No lights on.
Yeah.
Just anchored up. Like I had a deal, I don't know if it was the same boat or not, like a month ago. I'm cruising along, got my radar set, I'm pretty good in my electronics and staring at the plotter, trying to look at something. And I look up at the radar and I got this target, and I look up, and I'm not going fast. I'm on about 7 or 8 knots. Like, we're not going fast at all. And I got my radar at 1/8 of a mile as I'm fishing so close to the island that night. And next thing I look up, and I'm about to T-bone this sailboat, no lights on, just anchored up, just right out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was able to pull out gear, take it off autopilot, and swing the rudder over, and we got away from it.
Dude.
And stuff like that keeps you on your toes at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're sleep deprived and working all night. You know what I mean?
So you'll go out and you'll spend like 2 or 3 days out there?
Yeah. So we'll travel around. We try to sleep during the day, and then, it's kind of a disadvantage being on a squid boat because now you got every skiff in the world coming up. Hey, bait guy, and trying to wake you up.
Do they really fucking do that?
Oh, yeah.
Have your buddies come and fuck with you?
Well, because we sell squid too in the springtime for live bait.
You will?
Oh, yeah.
On the boat?
Yeah, on the boat.
Oh, cool.
So we did that like from like April to June this year.
Okay. When does that start back up?
Usually once the commercial squid season kind of phases out, which every year that's kind of changed the dynamic of things with the warmer water.
Yeah.
So we're waiting right now. I mean, we're seeing a little bit, but it's not very much. Not enough to be catching commercially just yet. Hopefully soon though.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of do a little bit of everything. You can't just have all your eggs in one basket fishing. Like,
yeah, of course.
Guys that, commercial fish these bluefin tuna and stuff, a lot of them have a 9 to 5 or they're deckhands on a sport boat or run a sport boat. They do something else. Lobster fishing, commercial. Everybody's kind of got their hand in a few different things, which you have to be.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen next year. It's a gamble. So even with sport
fishing,
will
you go out and fish when you're out there? Like,
I have some videos on Instagram and stuff and I'll post them because a lot of times when we're catching squid for bait, we're in those quote unquote bait ground areas or there's spots of fish on them. There was a lot of yellowtail fishing that went on earlier this year. It was because we were anchored up somewhere and there was you wake up and put a dropper loop down and catch a 20, 30 pound yellowtail.
Nice.
A lot of times
come home and not eat it because you don't like
come
fish.
home and not eat it, or we sell them. We commercially fish them too.
Oh yeah, you can sell them, right?
I'm on a boat. We put almost a ton of ice on some trips, and we're packing fish down in the hold. And when it's time to come in, we come in and sell them at the market.
Yeah,
there's always something. You always got to have something else supplemental,
dude. What's the plan when you get older? What do you see yourself doing in another 10 years?
Hopefully I own a boat by then.
Is that what you want to do?
That's kind of small business, something. I've had a few different opportunities to do different things. And
you want to own a sport boat?
I'd like to. That's always been my end game.
Really?
So, now that I've ran a boat and,
what do you think of that fucking dive boat, bro?
That was, so that same night we were commercial fishing at San Clemente Island. I was looking for squid there. Mm-hmm. And the Vision, the sister ship, the one that came in, was anchored up there. And so we were, within 100 feet of that boat at times that night. So when I heard about the boat fire and I was trying to think back, I'm like, oh, the Conception. I didn't realize that was the boat. Oh, they're at Clemente. Mm-hmm. And we have a friend that works on that boat on the not the one that burned up. Thank God.
Sister ship.
The sister ship, and I text Sean Stewart on the Aloha. It was one of his old deckhands. I'm like, is she all right? Just making sure. And he told me, no, that was the other boat at Clemente. And I'm like, thank God. Yeah, it hits home. You see stuff like that, and it's a real eye opener. And
it could be a lot of speculation on a overnighter. Dude.
It could have been anything.
Anything.
That whole bunk room, everybody's like, "Oh, it's real tight on there." That's no tighter than any other boat. And that boat, that was a really well manned operation, at least from the owner standpoint.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of stuff put on Instagram and on Facebook, and people were blaming the owners of the boat and doing this and that. And I made a comment to somebody yesterday, and I go, 9 times out of 10, when a boat isn't safe, it's not the owner's fault, it's the crew's fault.
Yeah. They have a crew guy suing the boat. I saw that news, dude. Yeah.
I saw that.
The guy that broke his leg. Yeah, he's suing the boat.
I mean, I get it. Maybe, I don't get it. I couldn't bring myself. I couldn't bring myself to do that. No, it's bad enough. It's bad enough living with that.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy. That's probably one of the bigger marine accidents.
No, I agree 100%. My wife saw it and she's like, "You're never going on an overnight."
That could have been a sport boat. You know what I mean?
Anyone.
Between that and the collision with the Prowler, that was another thing that
was wild.
There's a bunch of drama on Facebook about that I was reading up on yesterday. And I go, it's not. If there's ever going to be accidents, when there's going to be an accident. It's like being on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like everybody I know that rides motorcycles had an accident. Like you play with fire long enough, what we do isn't Disneyland when you go on a boat. Anything
Even that little boat sunk today in Malibu.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's like a 45-foot boat.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, my wife's, it's like 1 mile off, and I see her look at me and go, I'm like...
Yeah, now it's all over the news because of this other thing. You'll see that. Mm-hmm. That's
lots
the media.
Of boat shit. It's like...
Exactly. That's the hot topic right now.
Yeah,
so
right.
Something else will happen, and next thing you know, we'll be hearing
someone
about...
getting shot again or something.
Exactly. But yeah, there was like I said, there was Facebook drama yesterday about Andrew on the Pacifica. And, like, man, that guy's been through a lot the last couple of years, and a lot of it's out of his control. I mean, people can say, "Oh, it's on him," and it's on him. You've never ran a fucking boat like that. Yeah. You don't know. You know how many times there's been chaos control, like I said, you get 30, 40, 50, 60 people with different personalities come on the boat. You don't know who's coming on the boat. You know what I mean? I've had every walk of life.
I couldn't
come on
imagine,
the boat
dude.
At one time.
I couldn't imagine.
There's a guy over there with swastikas on him, and there's, bunch of gangsters from Compton, and there's this and that. You want to talk about a fucking tough job? Try running a sport boat, a local boat.
But that's the cool thing I
You
always
gotta
say
keep
about
your head
fishing
straight.
too.
Yeah, it brings everybody together.
Everyone, dude.
Everybody.
You get dudes where I'm like,
Yeah,
ooh.
you don't think anybody's gonna get along by the end of it? They're all, everybody's friendly.
Catching.
You know what I mean?
It's like American History X, but on a boat, bro.
It's crazy. It's the whole dynamic of it. It's crazy. Like one day, if there needs to be a reality show about sport fishing, it's gonna be a fucking good one.
Yeah,
And we've talked about that. The shit that goes on, both on the crew side and on the passenger side of things.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing. It'd be a real
hopefully
eye-opener.
Boatburger can do something, along that line later on.
I've been seeing them do that.
Yeah, they do some really cool stuff. They have a cool they have like a production crew, so it's really cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
their background, right? Kind of like you with your music. And,
Well, I think he had the idea, and then he got a couple production guys to come and actually,
Oh, really?
yeah, help him.
oh, good for them.
So yeah, my bad. I guess. Well, I used to be an engineer like 20 years ago, dude.
Gotcha.
This is like my kid's 15, so I quit playing when he was a year before he was born.
No kidding.
I think I told the story on Boat Burgers. You ever heard of the band Hatebreed?
Yeah.
So Jamie Josta came to sign us
Okay.
at Troubadour, and my wife was big and pregnant. She's like, "We got to go later," and I'm like, "What do you mean? Jamie Josta's here." She's like, "I don't care. We got to go." I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, "I got to go, guys." Like, Jamie Josta's here. I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I got to go." Sorry, she's pissed. So I missed that whole thing, and then I quit the band after that.
Oh no.
So they went
way.
on an American tour, then a European tour,
Yeah.
and then I played with them in 2014. A couple dudes that listened to the show
Really?
saw me play. Yeah, I played at this place in LA. It was like a couple thousand people.
No kidding.
I bring my kid on stage. It's cool. I played with all kinds of bands, dude. Everyone.
I
I played with Joe knows the dude from Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
I used to play with Avenged Sevenfold.
Remember in Avenged Sevenfold used to play at Chain Reaction.
So Andy,
In high school.
if you knew Andy worked on a sport boat in Redondo. He owns Chain Reaction.
Really?
He's the same age as me. He's 36, 37. But he's a vice president of Fearless Records.
Had no idea.
I
That's
guarantee
crazy.
he goes on Dwayne's boat all the time.
Okay.
If you ever seen the picture of me when I caught all those
I'll
tuna,
have to check it out.
Dwayne was on. It was Andy was the guy I went with. But I grew up. I knew Andy from playing in
Do you know Lionel Robinson? He's a drummer.
what band?
I'm gonna look it up right now because I met him fishing. It's another one of those people that you meet. Let me see if it comes up on here. Of course, got AT&T. Terrible services
Dude, in
always.
here I used to use Pro Tools.
I'll have to find it. I'll look him up and I'll show you. Fuck, who does he play for? It's somebody. It's not a really well known.
You got a lot of guys
like.
Andy fishes with the dude that started Warped Tour.
Oh, dude, there's people, all kinds. Who's it? Cheddar from Offspring fishes with Andy on the Enterprise.
Yeah,
and
see, it's like, dude.
who's the DJ? The DJ from Ridiculousness, the Rob Dyrdek. We had him on the boat.
Oh,
and
really?
We get people all the time that pop up and
Dude, fucking
it's
Benny.
weird.
Benny said he had fucking Magic Mike on the fucking boat with him.
I believe it.
I was like, no way. I'm like, how was he? He's like, cool, man. He just wanted to fish.
That's crazy,
Dude, that's fucking sick, dude. He's slinging dick like a motherfucker.
right? God, you're
Give me
getting
some
that
tips,
path.
bro.
I know,
How do I
right?
close my wife?
You just never know. You never know who you're gonna have on the boat. And that's
Right,
like
yeah.
going back to it. Like you got people that are famous
They're
coming
huge,
out.
like
and-
a Chris Pratt, big bass fish.
Uh-huh.
The Rock
Yeah.
has his own fucking pond, bass fishing.
Yeah.
Pond. You do some freshwater too, right?
I do. Charles took me striper fishing again the other day, and I've been
I know.
getting
I
back
saw.
into
I
it.
was so jealous. I'm
I've
like,
been getting back into it lately, and
Charles
I
is good at that, dude. He takes everyone, dude, if you want to go. Yeah.
And I went again since then by myself.
How was it?
Oh yeah,
Was it really good?
It was really good. And I texted him. I was like, dude, I go, this was.
What was your big fish you caught that day?
It wasn't so much big. It was
Quantity?
just cast for like an hour. Like
No
it took me longer to drive there than I fished, and I rented a boat. Like I was like, it's not going to get any better than this. I'm going to go home.
Are you doing full days or half days?
I did a half day. I literally fished for an hour that
I'm
morning.
planning on going up Monday, maybe.
Let's go.
Well, I got my boat. How about that boat?
Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll take Charles too. He better be. Well, he won't hear this till after it. So I guess
He goes Tuesday, Thursday, right? That's his day.
that's usually when he bounces
took me
around.
He took me there the first time I tried. I'm like, hey, I want to try to catch a swim bait fish.
Yeah.
I never caught one. So this was last year. This is like when the podcast first started.
And
So
he's another one. He's kind of a sleeper on it. He doesn't post a lot about what he does, which I don't
dude,
blame him.
he's a great fisherman,
He is.
dude.
No, he's done a lot of my tattoos.
Yeah.
Like I see, I've loved Charles. He's a really good dude. Like that's,
And if his music background's crazy too. Like if you listen to the podcast, we're talking about. I think we were talking about Showcase
podcast. You should listen to it when you're in there getting tattooed. The mix that's on the radio playing at
tattooed. If you listen to his podcast, we talk about music, and I'm like, yeah, he used to play at Showcase. He goes, oh, there's a lot of skinheads there. I told him, but
he's into that.
But I'm like,
well, that
the Unity guys used to kick their ass, and he started laughing, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, fucking. He's like, I was part of that shit. I'm like, no way, dude. That's
funny.
Small world, dude.
Background,
dude. And he's like some of the bands. Like he wore an Infest shirt when he walked up, and I'm like, that's one of my favorite bands.
That's crazy.
Like he's a great guy.
No,
and he's bringing. We try to do art ones, so he bring in like Matt and Amadeo.
Yeah.
We try to do Kyle Credo, but it gets
that. I've got some of Kyle's art as well. He's
busy. And I know I. And get
this was, I think I bought some of his stuff like 2 or 3 years ago when he first started putting it up. And he was just a random kid on Instagram, and I saw that.
Good
and I'm
artist,
like, dude, I'll take a couple of those. Like, you're selling those, and he's
hey, apparently you make everyone famous, right?
I don't know about that.
Hey, per Haggard pirate,
I'm just a washed up dickhead. Used to run a boat, and I still fish a little bit. And it's I don't claim to be anything.
Yeah,
it is.
Have you always freshwater fish though?
So growing up, I basically lived at El Dorado Park like in high school. Okay. So that we cut our teeth there. That I lived in Los Alamitos at the time, Long Beach, Los Alamitos. I've always bounced around. It seemed like every few years I moved. Cerritos Regional, El Dorado Park. Like
that's a hard fucking. When I used to go there,
middle school and high school, we had that so wired.
Really?
I mean, as kids, this is. Like again, this is before the internet days of it. You had to go out
2004, 3 before that.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
So like back then, you had like baytubers.com as a float tubing website. It was a message board. All Coast. When Bloody Decks first started.
Did you go on Fishing Network ever?
I never got into Fishing Network.
Okay.
I mean, I've looked
at it. It was like 2008 or 7.
That might be where I kind of started. When I started working on the boats, I kind of drifted away from a lot of that. Yeah. I mean, I've still will lurk on a lot of stuff and look just because, there's new shit that comes out.
Yeah.
It's just something else to stare at when you're glued on your phone for hours a day like we all are for whatever dumb reason.
That's a hard thing to stop though, right?
It really is. Especially now when it tells you how much screen time that you do every day. And it's like, fuck, I really looked at my phone that much.
You gotta stop.
You have to. You have to get rid of the iPhone. I mean, I keep telling myself, like, my camera's broken on here, and I'm like, if this thing breaks,
I can't take any selfies. What the fuck?
I'm getting a flip phone, like, just to get away from that. Like, just to go back to normal. Like, like with the whole internet thing and fishing, you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, internet killed fishing," and in a sense, it did, but it didn't. So it's just different perspectives. So nowadays, everything's instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
You have to. You want to know right away where to go catch these fish, and you got your friends posting stuff. When I started fishing, you had to go to the lake and figure out how they're biting. You didn't have anybody telling you.
Or you called a buddy and you said, hey, let's go fishing.
Well, like our group of friends, and it was clicked up then. Like I had 3 friends that, we just fished. Like that's what we went and did. And it got to the point where we started sandbagging certain stuff. Like I was 15 years old. I won the El Dorado Park Catfish Derby at 15. Dude. I sandbagged the shit out of that. I was already working on a boat then. It was cheating. But we did it just because we showed up. Like, that was our lake. Like, fuck yeah. Like, this is our one time. Like, we're going to go do this. And
my time to shine, bro.
We fished it. And guess what? I caught the biggest dumb catfish.
How big was it?
Whoop-de-doo. I was like 4 pounds or something.
It's nice, dude.
But, it was just, that was our home lake. Like, it was just one of those things. Like, we figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, we went there and we fished before it. And, it didn't really matter. It was catfishing. Like, it was luck. But we
what did you catch on?
A piece of mackerel.
There you go.
We were 15, all worked on boats, all had 9-foot rods, and we're casting in the middle of the lake kind of stuff. Like, just dumb stuff. But that's just what we did. We just fished.
Yeah.
And you had to go figure it out. It wasn't like, I get why people are upset about people sharing numbers, and, I get it too. I never had anybody that, handed me a book. Even if somebody does hand you the spots, you got to still know how to fish. I mean, I guess there is still a sense of,
you got to learn how to use your fish finder, right? I mean,
I could give you a list of numbers right now, and I would be like, here you go, but I'm not going to tell you how to fish them.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
You go do it. You're going to have to go figure out when the spot's going to bite. I can tell you how to fish it, but when's it going to bite?
So do you feel like giving numbers out like that is kind of like, it doesn't bug you because you got to know how to fish them?
It really doesn't bug me. I get people's frustration on it, and I think a lot of it is that instant gratification. Like, part of being a good fisherman, you got to go put your time in and you figure it out. And, it's the journey. It's not the end game. It's like running the boat. And now my thoughts on things, it's like, okay, now what? Like, okay, you want to hurry up and go be the best? Then go do it.
Yeah.
But then what are you going to do afterwards? It's not going to be, you're going to have to go find something else to do. So be ready for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, it's kind of along the way, the people you meet, the things you do. Okay, I'm going to give you this set of numbers. I'm going to go tell you how to catch this fish, and you've only been fishing for a week.
Yeah.
All right, you went and caught a 200-pound tuna. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to go keep doing that? What happens when those fish go away?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is all a short window, even with my flying fish thing that we're doing. Mm-hmm. It's a short window. I know it's not going to last forever, and I know these guys are too, and they're trying to cash in on it while it's here. I get that side of things. But for the guys that are in it for the long term, the end game, the long game on it,
yeah,
I see why they're getting upset. We were there when you go half day fishing and catch one sand bass for the whole boat, and it was shit. Like you got to go out,
dude. That's fucking crazy.
I had a boss one time tell me verbatim, you got to go out and suck a dick every once in a while. Commercial fishing, right? You can't always go when it's good. And one of my best friends is the manager at 22nd Street Landing, Michael Morrison, and we laugh about that all the time. You got to go suck a dick every once in a while.
You do. And, I think that's with everything.
We've been out there. It can't always be good, and that's that's part of fishing. Like you go get your licks in when it's good, and then you go suck the rest of the time like everybody else.
Hey, suck a dick the rest of the time.
Exactly. Pardon my French, but that's what we got told. And we got sent out in some fucked up weather when we didn't want to go fishing, and it's character building. It's like the whole aspect of fishing is character building. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for fishing.
And do you feel like you're losing that because of Instagram? Only because, like, when I was younger, we busted balls, like said some mean fucking shit to each other, friends.
It's so easy to get on your phone and do that now, and sit in
and
front of
I feel like you
screen.
wouldn't do that in front of each other anymore. No. Some people, not saying me to you, but once we get friendly, like, do you feel like you're losing that a little? Because
I think it's not as genuine. It's not as real. Like you can delete an app and everything goes away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for the most part, this Instagram, this social media, this isn't real life.
Yeah.
You can literally delete this stuff and it will go away for the most part. You want it out of your life, you can make it happen. But if you want to stay with the drama and continue on, then a lot of people do that. And they feed off that,
Yeah.
That's my take on it. I can take it or leave it. And that's, now
double-edged sword. I think that's everyone's.
Even now, the only reason why I'm posting is the flying fish stuff. I don't post a lot of fishing stuff anymore. I mean, part of it is because I'm not fishing as much, and I don't need to put it out there because I'm not running a boat, and I'm not like, hey, I want to go to work tomorrow. Come fishing with me. It's great.
Would you do that a lot when you?
Oh fuck, man.
Yeah,
I'd go home, and that's what you have to do. Like I said,
dude.
And we were pit against. I had guys that were a lot more talented than me, and I had guys that didn't need to go out and promote it, and they would just, people would show up in the morning because they bought their discount ticket.
Look who it is.
And that fried me.
Let's put him on the podcast. Joe.
Yo.
You're on Cast and Crank podcast right now with Aaron.
With who?
Aaron.
Corn-fed.
With the G-Flies?
Yep.
Aaron?
Yeah, you're live, bro.
What's up, Aaron?
What's going on?
How's the podcast going?
I'm only half of 3/4 of beer into it.
Yeah, he's being very polite.
You haven't got into the fun stuff yet.
Not yet.
Nice. That's cool.
You betcha. I thought I'd answer it.
I'm picking up reels.
That sounds.
Seeing the fun stuff in the tackle world.
Hey, I'll give you a call later. I don't know if you're. I think I can go on Monday, but I'll let you know. And then I'm thinking of filming too.
Okay, that's fine.
So I think I'm going to take my good camera, and I have this new tripod where we can fucking lock it down on the back of the boat, and I just want to keep filming, put some bullshit up. I don't know,
Yeah.
So I'll let you know tomorrow for sure. Yeah. They call me tripod too.
Well, have fun, guys.
All right, man. Later on.
Joe.
Yeah.
See ya. That's funny.
Fucking guy, dude. And that's like that. I met him just going into the performance. Like it's like I met him. I met
That's one place that doesn't ever. It's been the same quality,
right?
Like as far as the knowledge and like Mark and those guys still get me fired up on going fishing. I'll go talk to Mark for 5 minutes and get me fully like wanting to like. All right, I want to go fucking fish the Rios Regional again,
dude.
Like something I haven't done in a lot of years, or I want to go do this and that, and maybe I get
Mark,
there.
I feel like can just get you going.
He can, and he's so knowledgeable about everything. He's so technical,
right?
The way he fires in his head is just it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I could see
he's a hell of a fisherman.
Oh, definitely. Hopefully, I think we're supposed to do something in October.
That'd be cool.
Like I think we're gonna do it at the shop, and then maybe do like a live. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Whatever he wants to do. Like I said, I know he's kind of like doesn't want to really do it, but he's going to. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of like he'd rather just have you come in and talk to him at the shop. But I mean, the guy knows so much. He's been influenced so many people.
Oh, for sure.
You
You
know?
hear it a lot on your, and it's
Yeah.
because it's true. And,
Yeah.
you know, and don't get me wrong. There's other guys like that. Like another person I feel super, super knowledgeable is Breck down at Hogan's. Like,
Okay.
you want to talk about, you know, a well-stocked, well-staffed, very, very nice tackle shop, them. I think everybody kind of has their niche. Like,
I feel like there's kind of like the down south, kind of like everyone will go there.
he's good at tournament. He's very technical when it comes to certain things. Everybody has their specialties, you know.
Yeah.
Like Sambit Island, those guys, another great shop. Like,
Where's Island at? In Carson?
in Carson,
Off of,
Carson and Avalon.
it's right off the 405. Huh?
It's very, very.
I've been
it's
there
easy.
once.
It's
They got
easy.
kind of all kinds of shit. Huh?
He does. He's
got like shit that's like cheap, real like.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
He
I've been there
covers everybody. And,
Yeah.
you know, and he's a guy that worked at another tackle shop and got fed up and went and started his own. So
That's
he's
cool.
he's still getting his feet under him. I think it's been a handful of years now. Time flies. Like I said, like with Performance, I remember they were across the street, and we had a long history with those guys. And,
Yeah.
like the kid Bob that runs the Fortune now, he's like my little brother. I've been friends with him since.
Were you ever a
Because-
Ceylon dude?
A little bit.
Really?
It's always kind of been out of my way. I still
Yeah.
go there. They carry our flying fish.
Oh, do
Savon's.
they?
Yep.
Okay,
Savon's
cool.
another one there in Santa Fe Springs. That's another shop.
Yeah.
When the owner used to have Fisherman's Hardware in Long Beach on Anaheim Street. And that was like my home tackle shop for a long time. And it was real sad to see that place go. And
Yeah.
to this day, like when I think of a tackle shop, it's like the hardwood floor in there. Like that place was just so old school and
Yeah.
awesome. So it was right
that's
attached
where
to Joe
you grew
Joe's.
up, right? I
That's
mean,
where we grew up.
yeah.
And we'd go in there and shoot the shit. And you know, it's cool running into people now. One of the guys that had it at one point in time, I think he just managed it. He's at Fisherman's Hardware now in Huntington, and then
Okay.
Jimmy's at Big Fish Tackle in Seal Beach, and
Yeah.
guys are spread out everywhere.
Yeah.
That's real cool to still run into them, especially now
Yeah.
this flying fish thing. I'm like, hey, I haven't seen you in 7 or 8, 10 years. Like, how you doing? You know what I mean?
They're stoked. They're like, no way, you're fucking doing this,
it's
dude.
cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of support behind what we're doing too. Bloody Decks or BD Outdoors Fish
Oh
Dope.
yeah, what happened with that? They just did a
We're-
whole thing on your stuff, right?
We got added into it. So
This
that
is
airs,
the first episode. The episode's coming out, and it's going to
it
do.
airs Sunday, and we have like a 30-second long like kind of shout out. Like, here's our flying
Did
fish.
he put up your logo?
Yeah, they
oh,
put it up.
Fuck yeah, dude!
And so we're also launching a website this week. So that's another thing I got a guy working on right now. We kind of did that in conjunction with that, like trying to get everything launched at the same time.
that could be like a game changer too, because people from fucking East Coast could be like, oh fuck.
And I've been
Right?
Yeah, that's been a whole nother side
Have you
of
looked
things.
into that whole shipping?
I have.
Okay.
I have a line on somebody out there right now that wants to try them out, and you know, a lot of those guys fishing that tune out there, I don't think they've fished them.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll work. Maybe that'll be another avenue. You know, I'm not holding my breath on it, but
If that's the case, would you like have to like buy like a big commercial freezer or something to kind of like?
we have some access to.
Oh, do you?
to
Okay,
large.
cool.
Yeah. So like when we had our stuff stockpiled, which we still do, we have cold storage that we use and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Just another one of those things. Like we've ran into enough people. We have, you know, it's crazy how many people you meet along the way, and then when you need something, you reach out. Like my sorry, not mine. My partner and I, our logo for our flying fish. The guy that created that logo for us, the one that's on the new vacuum seal package, he's Chris from Current Crew. So he has a history
no
with
way.
Fatal Clothing, and
Yeah.
you know, that was their deal. And Chris is another good friend of mine. Like I said, I talk to a lot of people. I'm friendly. Like I'm on good standings with a lot of people. You know, still talk to Billy. I reach out to him, and he calls me every once in a while, and
Yeah.
we talk. And Brandon Hayward and all these guys that, you know, everybody. You know, it's a small community. You can't
shit on anyone.
You
right?
can't
Yeah.
really. I mean, everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. I get it. You know, and some guys they got different angles to it. Like I wish we had more flying fish this summer. I wish every tackle shop had them, and you know, it just wasn't in our cards yet. We're trying to get our feet under us and get running on this thing, and you know, it's been a process. So seeing somebody kind of come in behind us, and you know, I had guys that were calling me one day wanting to buy flying fish, and the next day they're commercial fishing themselves.
Oh.
What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about some
Fucked up
secret
shit.
agendas and, you know, backstabbing, that stuff goes on.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It is
Yeah.
what it is. So when somebody talks shit or somebody does something, you just got to expect it. I mean, that's kind of the way things go, especially with fishermen. They're a bunch of dickheads for the most part.
Ripping off baits.
I don't want you fishing right next to me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I hear a lot of this stuff like, oh, I'm going to tell you where to fish this weekend. Don't go fishing for boats. Well, you just sold 2,500 people the numbers to where you're going to go fish. What the fuck do you expect is going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, don't go fish for boats, but everybody go try to fish this one spot that's only meant for 1 or 2 boats. It's a small spot.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think is going to happen? Everybody gets there. You know, that's part of those things.
I've only had that happen like maybe like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's usually like I'll be on the pipe and then everyone loads up on the pipe or, you know, somewhere.
No, there's certain areas
like,
where you just can't get away from that. And there's what used to be sacred stuff. I mean, nothing's sacred anymore.
Right.
What you think's a secret hot spot that only you fished. Well, now it's 2019. There's AIS and people that are monitoring everything, and everybody wants to know where you're at and what you're doing. You can't hide anymore.
Or if they know your boat, they
radar overlays and stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that, you know, the more technologically advanced that I personally become, and I start seeing things, I'm like, that's how those guys knew where that rock was. You know, you can put your radar right over the top of your chart plotter and figure out where somebody is and punch you in, and then the next day go fish it. Dude. It kind of sucks. It's good in a sense, but at the same time, it kind of sucks.
Well, it does what you said. You
just
know
gotta
how
roll with it.
You said the same thing as like, if you sell those numbers, well, it doesn't really matter if you do a little bit of homework, right? You're going to fucking get them anyway. You're going to find them.
You're going to find it. And it's not so much the numbers, I think. Like, I tell a lot of people a lot of times, like, pay attention. It's free.
Yeah.
Like, if you fishing, 90% of probably, like, you know, there's been some people that have influenced what I've done and kind of guided me, but a lot of it's paying attention to what's going on around you.
Knowing what you're doing.
Why did these fish bite?
Yeah.
You can go to a spot 5 days in a row, and it's not one day it might bite, and the next day it won't. And, you know, okay, more power to you. Why did it bite on that one day, though? Like, what was different about today than the next couple of days, other than all the boats that are here now and all your friends that you messed up and told that the fish are biting here and everybody shows up? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my best days we're by ourselves. We're not fishing around other people. Like, everybody's going this direction, we go the other way. Or you got to know when the window is. Like, fishing in general, like I'm sure you've seen it. You've had those days where you fish all day long, you get an hour window where it bites.
Yeah.
Why did it bite in that 1 hour? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of sport fishing, people bitch and complain. They come out, oh, they didn't bite.
And you're
today.
looking for conditions too.
You're looking for conditions.
Yeah.
Sport, like, you know, fishing is 90% beating your head against the wall, and then that little 10%. I'm sure that's what having a drug addiction is like too. It's like that one little high, and you're chasing that around,
chasing the dragon.
You're not high all the time. You know what I mean? It's that little period. You got to get there. It's just
a way, like fishing, dude.
Just
the tug is
that's
the drug,
what it is.
right?
Oh yeah, the tug is the drug. But, you know, it's one of those things where you work hard enough at something and you figure it out. I mean, there's different avenues to it. And what fun is it if somebody just hands that to you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody just gives it to you, you don't appreciate it as much, I don't think. You don't have that connection to what you just did.
Yeah.
Like, it's like finding girls in a bar. Like, you ever notice, like...
No, I agree.
You ever notice, like, when girls come after you and you're not showing you interest in them, but when the ones you can't get, then you got to figure out how to go after them? What if somebody just gave you that magic? I mean, some guys might like that. I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah.
Fishing, to me, is the chase of the thing. It's not just, oh, here you go. Like,
or like you learning the technique almost, right?
It's the journey. It's not the destination, right? Like, that's what a lot of it is.
Yeah.
So I think my view of things with guys that are selling numbers and doing that, more power to you. That's just not for me. It's not for some people.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys that are going to come on this podcast, or a lot of guys that people look up to, that's not how they learned.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go do that. Nobody, even the guys selling the numbers.
Yeah.
You think somebody taught them how to do that? No, they went out and they figured it out themselves.
Yeah.
So that's where the level of respect comes from on that side. And then the other guys that are doing it, like, more power to them. If that's the way you want to go about it. Yeah, if that's the way you want to go about it, that's the way you want to learn how to fish, then fucking have at it. But you and I are different, you know? You're an angler and I'm a fisherman. Like, you're the one that's standing at the rail and I'm the one driving the boat that's fishing. That's what separates us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody says, oh, I'm a fisherman. If you go on the half-day boat and you're standing at the rail, you're an angler. You're not the fisherman. The fisherman's up in the wheelhouse. He's the guy finding the fish. You're just the guy casting your line out and you're catching them. You know? And it's kind of the way you want to look at it. I mean, some guys are meant to be one way and some are the other. So
yeah.
But in the end, I mean, like I said, I've been saying it, there's a lot of drama in fishing, and people just, they all have their own perspective of how things should be.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And I still talk to everybody, even when people have beef with each other. It's like, go do something about it. Go hit each other or something. Like, get over it. You know what I mean?
Just punch each other.
Get it over with.
Yeah.
And you want to just keep dragging this out? Just go do something about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think
It's got to end sooner or later.
Yeah, I think set up a boxing ring at the Fred Hall show, and we can rent
that's what
gloves
we're
to
gonna do,
people.
I guess, huh?
Dude, if we can get the green light on
Hey,
that.
here's a permission slip.
We show up in the parking lot with a cage on a truck. Here you go, guys. I think we can make some money too.
I'm sure.
I think they're.
Come to the Cast and Crank booth. We're gonna have a fucking boxing ring. Take shots in between rounds.
$10 beers and
16 to be exact.
we might be onto something there, right?
That'd be
Go
fun.
clear the air. It might be a different season in 2020. Everybody might be friendly.
once this little guy knocks out everyone, it's gonna be a different story.
Shit. That'd be cool. But I think like with stuff that you're doing, that's what you got going on here and promoting. Like I said, if it wasn't for people helping each other, helping each other out,
yeah,
a lot of us wouldn't be where we're at. And
you got to. It's like what else is? I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for all the guys that came on here. So it's like I get like helping promote whenever you can. It's like I don't know what this is going to be. Like I said, I'm hoping to get bigger ads or something big
for sure.
And the guys on the way that have helped, I'm going to promote the fuck out of them because they took their time out to come on here. Like you said, it's a small community.
It really is.
How many, Evan talks about his podcast, says, how many people do you really reach? He's like, I'm at 20,000 followers, whatever. You think you're really going to get more than that in Southern California? Sport fishing.
No,
really.
He's not a chick in a bikini on the East Coast or in Florida. Some of that shit impresses me. And it's like, wait a second. How do you have an extra tough sponsor? And here I am.
Isn't that wild?
Not only do I have a giant foot, I could be the best advertisement of the bigger dude, but I'm the one blowing through all the gear and we're actually using it. And you see these guys, these pro staff deals and stuff, and you're like, what? How? Really? I mean, that's the Instagram, the model for it, I guess. And
it's weird because we talked about pro staff with C's.
Yeah.
And
and he's the guy that you want promoting your stuff. I mean, he is very good at what he does. He's very talented.
And I not saying him, but like what you consider pro staff, he considers a professional. Someone gets paid, and I do.
Yeah,
but
no, I understand his view on that, and he's sharp. I mean, guys like that say stuff the way that they do it, and it makes a lot of sense. You really sit there and think about it. And that's
what a good argument was like. Well, in my head, I think of a professional as like a tournament.
Well, that's like being a fisherman and being an angler. That's kind of my take on that, I guess. If you want to compare it that way, I mean, it's the same thought process behind it. When it comes down to it, one's professional, one's promotional. I mean, I fully understand.
So if you're a YouTube dude making millions of dollars a year fishing, does that make you professional?
I think you're professional at that point. I wish I could be a YouTube dude making millions.
How good are you at fishing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you might not be that great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in my head, I think of how good are you at that, not of how much you influence.
Yeah. I guess it all kind of has its area where you want to choose your words. And look at Bill Dance. Was he a professional fisherman? Was he a promotional fisherman? You watch a Bill Dance episode.
How many tournaments did he enter?
How many tournaments did he enter? He was getting paid to fish, and he was also promoting his lures while he was fishing them. He had his name written on the side of a lure. If that doesn't make you professional, then I don't know.
Yeah, if I had a name,
that's what I grew up watching. Yeah. That's before you had YouTube, and you watched Bill Dance on TNN in the morning.
TNN.
Jose Wahibi,
no one even knows
Spanish, Spanish Fly. You know, he passed away. That was a hell of a show back in the day. I had a lot of friends that idolized him. You know, it's different day and age.
Is TNN even around anymore?
I don't think so.
That was a great. They had all those monster truck fucking.
All kinds of good redneck.
Dude.
You name it, it was on there.
Yeah, I loved that fucking channel.
Was it like A Million Ways to Die or something like that? That was one that I think right before they shut it down. That was on there.
And Spike had a good.
I think TNN turned into Spike.
Did it?
At least they got the channel or something.
Maybe I don't know.
No, it was back in just the cable days, and I think
DirecTV
might have been
watching MTV too.
Right when the MTV used to actually have music videos.
Yeah, dude. I remember watching Eminem's first fucking video come out.
Dude, I remember seeing the Snoop Dogg video when I was like in kindergarten when he's riding down the street on a big wheel.
Dude,
I remember pretty sure it was kindergarten. Yeah, kindergarten, first grade, before going to school in the morning. That's what I was watching. Give you an idea.
Ooh.
What the hell was I doing? Why was MTV on? Still to this day, I laugh about that. Like, what was I watching at like 6 years old?
Dude, that's a crazy video.
Snoop Dogg on a big wheel going down the street. I'll never forget that. It's one of those weird things in life that just stands out in your mind.
It's great fucking music, though.
Yeah.
Right? Long Beach guy, too, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, dude, I think we did a pretty fucking solid podcast.
I think so, too.
Had fun. Is there anything you want to touch?
No, I think I mean we'll
Like
do
you
another
could-
one.
Yeah, definitely.
Do something later on.
Anything. So if anyone wants to,
I want to get some people in here to make this real interesting.
I can only have one of those every 25 episodes.
That'll work. That'd be great.
It'll be very crazy. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
If they want to reach if they want to reach the product, they can just go to those tackle
right,
shows
so-
we mentioned.
yeah.
So give your plug for everything that you.
So right now we have an Instagram, which I put a lot of hyphens or underscores in it, just to try to break up the name. So it's G_fly_. Fuck, now I got to remember what I did here. Hold on, I got like 10 different things going on. So let me make sure I don't mess this up. So it's G_fly_premium_flying_fish.
What you should find it by the time you.
Yeah, once you start putting that in, that'll come up. If not, you can check out my personal page if you want to go that avenue. I have it tagged in the bio. Captain_no_good. And also too, we have, after this comes out, gflybaits.com is what our website's going to be. So a good friend of mine, Mike Machiavelli, does United Composites and surfaceiron.com. We worked with him and he put it together. He's another one, like I said, just another good, solid dude in the industry. There's been a lot of them that I missed out, didn't mention, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In a short amount of time. And like I said, there's a lot of connection with the guys in the industry. So that's been really cool throughout this whole journey. And we'll see where this takes me. I don't know what's next. I'm not a planner, so whatever happens. I'm just
You might
rolling
have that
with
boat,
it.
dude, in a couple
You
years.
never know. The way life's been the last year, you just don't know what's going to happen. Dude. So I guess you got to take it that way.
Congrats on your success, bro, with that. I think that's
you.
really cool. Everyone go follow them on Instagram. Check out their website. Support if you can. If you're going to go out and fly kites and fish, hit them up. Grab they sell the best stuff. Thanks for listening, guys. I think this is the first video one. I think we did a good job. So thanks for listening. Later.
Forgot we're on video.